Hi there, I'm Allie Elliott.
Hi guys, I'm Allie Elliott. Welcome back today, second stream of the day. I did a stream earlier as judging started for the American Society of Photographers Images of Distinction. It is the first big image competition of 2022, and the intention is to get us ready for districts, to kind of, there aren't case numbers like there are. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Hold on. There you go. Nobody needs to see my face that bright. There are no case numbers like there are. It's been a long day. There are no limits to the number of images in your case. So it gives you an opportunity to get judging feedback before you enter districts and IPC, where you are limited to 4 in photographic open, 4 in master artist, and in other stuff that I don't enter. There's weddings. I don't shoot weddings anymore since 2015. And there's a reportage, or as we call it in Indiana, reportage, where there's no real retouching. It's basically straight out of the camera. It's more of a photojournalistic category, and I'll never do that because I edit and over edit everything. And it was a very long day. I'm exhausted from doing absolutely nothing but sitting in this exact spot, eating and watching judging and messaging people who were also watching judging. And it was a brutal day. It did not go well. I haven't done this poorly in a competition since 2018, and that was bad. And all it did, rather than narrow down, try to decide which ones to put in, I'm just more confused than ever. And I took notes. I edited most of what I entered here on stream, so I thought it would be cool to go through, and it's embarrassing. I did so poorly. I did get some good feedback on a few, and then there were a few that they just didn't even bother talking about, so I don't know how to take that. That sometimes the feedback you get, I can do that. That's an easy fix. I'll handle that, and then you enter it, and it's great. And then other times, the more they talk, the worse you feel about how badly you did. And then, I don't know how to take when they don't talk. I guess they're unanimous in their numeric scores, or they're in agreement, or they don't feel strongly about it, or whatever. So you just move on with your life, I guess. I'm not there yet. I'm pouting. So I've got notes here. They turned to notes in red by the end of the day because it was it was a massacre of my ego. It was so bad. So, okay. This morning, I was still kind of chipper because only one image had gone through, and it didn't do well. I was surprised that it did so badly, but I touched it up. So this was Sugar Plum Kitty. It is a dumb title, I know. If you've got other options, let me know. I'm a little testy tonight. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I already reworked this one on screen. They gave some great feedback on this that I'll take to heart and I actually did already take it to heart because I already made the changes. Now let's make sure that I saved them somewhere. Okay, so it's saved in Dance of the Kitties file because I don't have a better title. All right, so this is the one that I entered, and then this is when it was reworked. It's very subtle changing, but it's valuable for sure. my concern with this is that now I've made these subtle changes that they've kind of zeroed in on. And then once that is out of the way, they're going to find something else that they don't like, which that's their job, you know. And without them being exactly in the same, there we go. Okay, so that is the new one. Right? Yes, okay, this is the new one. This is the old one. It's very subtle. So you can see her armpit here. So this is old. I darkened that up because it was really bright, bringing attention away from her face. And the main thing that they kept going back to is that the cat looked cut out, which we definitely don't want. So I worked on the weight of the shadows under the kitty and this kind of lighter patch that probably would be blocked off had she had the kitty in her hand. So I marked that down. I went into the tail and gave some more light, some more highlights, because it's hard because the cat is in the shadow, especially this back half, and the tail is dark, is probably the darkest part of the cat. So it's kind of an optical illusion. So we worked on that this morning, so I won't dwell too much on that more than I am right this second, which is kind of a lot. But we made those changes. It came in at a 79. As I mentioned this morning, 80 is the threshold. That's what you want. You want an 80 or above. And then I've already gotten my craftsman degree. I've already gotten my master's degree. I've already gotten a couple of Grand Imaging Award nominations, which was this year. And because of that, I'm coming off my best year. I was a gold medalist, 2 GIA nominations. I figured this year was going to be kind of rough. And nothing was going to feel like an accomplishment because I had hit a really high peak in my career. Hopefully not the only peak, but it's feeling like that right now. So, you know, I'm not the kind of person that will just take a year off to kind of recoup from that success. I'm going to go out guns a-blazing. So that was the first one of the day. I took all kinds of notes, very excited, came on, streamed, corrected everything that I saw, and then got ready for the rest of my entries. And I had 11 entries because I'll have 4 for photographic open, 4 for master artist. And sometimes it's hard to just see what is going to have impact for your viewer. And I talk about judging, I'm talking about judging about competition right now, but it's not just that. It's you want to connect with your clients, you want to connect with galleries, with people coming through the galleries, any audience. But the judges are a trained eye, so it's a little bit easier to know what they'll connect with. They'll connect with good technique and, you know, well thought out composition, and they know some of the secrets to that kind of thing. So I was very jazzed up after the first one, and then they rapid fired for a little bit because there were 4 panels open, so you had to kind of, then the sound was on a different, you went to a Zoom link for the sound, and then there were 4 different panels for the vision, or for the images, for the vision, whatever. I'm so tired. And I did nothing to achieve being tired to earn it. So I'm tired from just sitting here. All right. So I'll kind of go in order that they came up just because that's the order that my notes are in. And my notes got significantly shorter as the day went on because the frustration level just kept, like the ladder image, you know, she's building a ladder to the stars and I am building a ladder to sheer and utter frustration. So we're there. The ladder's finished. And the next image that came up was Act Natural, which I did edit on stream. So the theme of the day was the judges hate my presentation. I too hate my presentation. I hate everybody's presentation. It is an element that I loathe, I'm not good at. I struggle with it, and this is kind of a cop-out, but I struggle with it, I think, partly because I'm colorblind, and it's awful. They did not like the last one, the Sugar Plum Kitty. They did not like that presentation, so we already changed that. In fact, did I put that? This is the one I entered, and then, oh my gosh. Yeah, so I changed the presentation. Super ridiculously simple change that, you know, I don't feel like that should make or break an image, but when you see a really good one, then you go, okay, that I get that now. But this was not it. They super hated this. They talked about that for a long time, about how much they hated this. And they didn't like the extra space over the top of her head, which I agree with. When I created the composition, I was a little bit torn between the kitty's eyes and her eyes and where to put them, because they are kind of juxtaposed. So if her eyes are on the rule of third, then the kitty's going to be hugging the top, and you know, if the kitty's on rule of thirds, then there's going to be this weird open space. So clearly I made the wrong choice and should have just brought this in a little bit, maybe had a darker composition. They did not like the lighting on her face. That it was too much of I forget how just the straight nose shadow. They did not like that. That kind of surprised me a little bit. I'm usually pretty spot on with lighting. So this one is going in the trash. I also didn't want to have two kitty and my daughter images, because while you can use the same subject, they need to be completely different storylines. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. They need to be completely different setups, different storylines. Well, I use the same backdrop for like basically everything at this point, because my backdrop stand is kind of on its last leg and we're getting ready to put up a new one. So rather than weaken the structure, I am just using this, and it's my favorite too. I have a brown backdrop that I use a lot that's kind of deep and rich, and I struggle with the tones on that because I don't see red and green the way other people see red and green, and there is apparently a lot of red and green in there, which affects the color balance and it affects skin tones. So then I struggle with skin tones. And anyway, it's a spiral. So this is going in the trash. I could rework it. I could change the presentation. I could change the crop and layout. And I love this for my daughter. She really likes it. For her and her kitty, and I love it as a personal family picture. For competition, it's gone, because you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, and I'm folding them, right? Is that okay? So those were the main concerns with that. It received an 80 and then was challenged down to a 79. That is a number you are going to hear from me a lot today. As a matter of fact, 9 of my 11 entries were 79. So, if there were an award for most mediocrity, I would win it today. For being just below where I should be as a professional. That's me. I get the crown. And, you know, it could be worse, because they could have all been 77s, which is where one image was. But they also could have been 82s, which is where another one was. And the funny thing about this, just when you think you have it figured out, they have made it as unsubjective as an image competition can be, because you've got the 12 merits. They've made it technical. Just when you think you've got it figured out, you don't. and you end up with 979s. And by the end of the day, it was just like comical that I could do so badly. And I'm like exhausted by this. So Sugar Plum Kitty, Ag Natural 79. Just get used to that number. That's where we're gonna be hanging out in the 79s for the day. Hopefully not for the year. Hopefully I can turn some of these around and make it happen. Now the next image was a shocker. And actually in this scenario it was a shocker for a good thing. This was Break and Stitch, which I do like the name. And I went with some unconventional lighting, so I wasn't sure that it was going to translate. And I'd kind of already written this image off and thought that I would just dump it from my case for the year, which is kind of early for anything like that, but that's where I was leaning. And this came through, and one judge in particular really liked it and gave it an 88, which is phenomenal. I've only had 2 other images in the history of me score better than that. But it was, I am keeping that in mind that it was one judge, and she liked the coloration, she liked the story, she liked that it was different than what you typically see. So it made me look at this one in a different light. So I think this one might be sticking around. They gave me some good feedback because they said, okay, so the intent, the lighting, the story, those were all good. And that is the only image from the day that I wrote good things down about. As a matter of fact, as I'm looking at this, there were not a lot of good things said. Like, it's embarrassing. It was so bad. But the purpose of a critique isn't to sugarcoat and flower everything with kisses and unicorns. It's to get better. And especially at this point in the year, we are on the verge of districts. We're on the verge of IPC and state comps and all that good stuff. So the good stuff doesn't really help us. It doesn't help us improve or wake up. I've had a lot of coffee, and I killed a part of myself, I think, that caffeine affects. So I don't wake up because of coffee. I can drink it right before bed. In fact, my husband and I usually have a coffee right before bed. Anyway, my point is that's not going to help me right now. I just have to go based on sheer willpower at this point. So this was the surprise, to be up that high. The skin tones were ashy and have some color shifting, which I see, and that's what I was delaying fixing because I was a little overwhelmed by it. But because of that one judge's excitement for it, it made me want to look at it again. So I think that we'll be taking another look at this in the next couple of days. There's definitely some muddiness over here that I think we could correct and clean up. There's not a lot of information, so we might have to bring in another shot or bring in the original arm, which I think I did that one time, so there might just not be much information there. And then there were some exposure issues around the hand and stuff. But this one was pulled out of the trash pile and dusted off. We'll dust it off in the next couple of days, weeks, whatever, and have another look at it. So that one's better than expected. They loved the facial lighting. Okay, so that one was the bright spot in the day. And the very terrible, no good. I forget how it goes. Alexander's, terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Something like that. Okay, so now we are, so it was, my high score was 88. They challenged it down and landed at 82. As it turns out, that would be the high point of the day, which is sad. And if I had known that, I probably just would have packed it up, gone on a trip somewhere, gotten up out of this chair maybe, done something a little more productive with my time, but I didn't. And I'll go through these next ones really fast because shock to me, this one, 79, and no discussion, no second look. But while it was up on screen, I noticed some there. I actually think it's that backdrop because I run into this a lot, but it looks like clone tracks. I don't know what that noise was, but it might be a ghost. I would welcome a ghost at this point. The way this day has gone, I would welcome a good haunting, whatever. But there was no discussions. That was disappointing. I will say that I presented this, which I don't know if I can tell right now. It's a little dark in here. Oh yeah, I did, because you can see the shadow there. So I did this presentation the same way I did the presentation on Sugar Plum Kitty, which was the first image that they absolutely hated. If they could have set that presentation on fire on the stream, they would have. And I emotionally am setting fire to the presentations for these. I'll never do that again. Lesson learned. I'm sorry, but it was funny that they made such a big deal about how much they hated that presentation because I knew that the rest of my images were also presented the same way, so they didn't even bother mentioning again. So this one was a shocker. I thought this would have, I love the texture and the lighting and the interaction between the two. I may bring her arm up and have them hold hands and offer more of a connection, maybe like a clutch there, because I know I've got some from that. But I was surprised by this. That was definitely a shocker in a bad way. And then paint up, watch out for some of these. If it's not a clone track, it looks like it. So I would like to maybe see this more painterly and smoothed out a little bit. So that was Lean on Me, and that title is really not exciting. So if you have a better one, tell me, because I don't know out of these. I was feeling pretty good about my case, and until today. And now I'm just super confused because the ones I thought would do really well did terrible. And the ones that I thought would do terrible also did terrible. Except for that one that I completely written off. So just look away, pull it out of the trash, dust her off. And then this one is another one that did not, I loved it. I thought this was my best entry for a photographic open, and it got 0 discussion. It got a 79. Again, that's the number of the night is 79. I do see some things that I can fix about it, but I can't believe like not a discussion. This one was titled Don't Wake Me. I think that's okay, but if you have witty things to share with me, I clearly need help. This is a spiral. This day is a spiral. Okay, so those were the only 2 for photographic open that got 0 discussion at all. What is that noise? Can you hear that? Okay, I'm not even going to question it. Okay, so this one, admittedly, this was kind of thrown in last minute, but they super duper hated it. And I don't know if I mentioned in the last one that they hated that, again, the presentation was the same, so they made a really big deal about hating it so much. So any of these that get entered, I'm obviously going to have to redo the presentation, which is lots of fun. So this one I titled Then Sings My Soul, and I thought like her little twist and her little cheeks, and I loved it. If anything, I thought maybe I would run into some issues with the color. Because I tend to, she has olive undertones in her skin, and I tend to gray out when I use these creamy tones. So I thought that might be an issue. Surprisingly, they did not say that. So in looking at it on the screen when the judging came up, some of the judges did not like all the negative space, that it was too much. And some of them said that that didn't bother them. Again, I see some of this clone, it's either clone marks or just that, I think it's probably actually clone marks in this one, to a certain extent anyway. So I could clean that up. They didn't really mention that, but that was something that jumped out at me when it was up on screen. They didn't like the negative space. And as I was watching, I thought maybe, let me just pull this into Photoshop to try and check out a couple of different compositions. I am so tired. Any other image competitors on here tonight? I want to know how everybody did. And don't, just because I did really, really badly, like really, really, really badly, don't be afraid to tell me that you did well, because somebody out there had to have done well. I'll say that it was not in the rooms that I was watching being judged. It was a massacre in there. It was so bad. But, all right. So I was looking at this wondering, I always hate to cut off these sleeves because I love these sleeves. But if I could make a strong spotlight on her, maybe it's worth bringing this in a little bit. Is that better? I feel like that might be. I tend to really like negative space to the point of it's off-putting to other people. But give me some feedback here. Chat, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm tempted to just do it. But I really like those sleeves. I'm gonna bring this down a little bit because that's one of the things I got dinged for. And this had other issues. So why I'm obsessing about this one issue, because it's easy and it's a quick, immediate change. So it's kind of fun to just see a quick, immediate change. They didn't like the neck. If you saw me editing this, then you know that the neck was an issue, because in the original picture, which I can show you, maybe I can show you that. Actually, I'm not sure I can, because this was here. Okay, so I can get something close. Because we had been using a wind machine. So you can see on here that, you know, the light was obstructed and the hair got crazy. I might have just actually grabbed the exact one that I used. But her face is so joyful. And I thought I had gotten that cleaned up good enough. They said it was a different color. I don't really see a different color, but I can look in here and see what we're working with. So it's definitely some orangey tones. And then, I mean, those are orangey too. Pink cheeks, that looks a little grayed out, so maybe that's something too. But I have a lot of photographic open images in here, so maybe I shouldn't obsess with this one, because this is the one that they had the most things to change. So what I don't know, hello, how are you? You know what, come in here and complain about PPA judging with me, because today was a rough day. It was rough. So, okay, if you're watching an image be judged, which one is the stronger image? The one they don't bother to talk about at all, or the one that they list like 1,000 things that you need to fix about? Which one do I go with? Because they got the exact same score. I see things that I could fix in the one that they didn't talk about, but does that mean it's boring? I don't know. This is what I'm going to think about. So I need some feedback. So that's where this one, I might save this as a crop just because I'm being a busybody tonight. So I don't know. I'm even more confused now than before I started this. Hello, I am spiraling. If you're just joining me, it's been a long day of sitting in this chair watching my images do really, really poorly in competition. Maybe the worst. Definitely the worst since at least 2018. Oh, I did? Is that good or bad? I changed some stream settings. I didn't do that intentionally. So if it's something I need to change back, is it worse? Let's see. Okay, let me get back to my images here. Okay. And there was one, when this one came up on my screen, it looked like it was in the wrong color space. So let's see. Here, you know what? Let's, so that you don't have to see that real big. It looks like, okay. Okay, is that something I need to change then? I'm new at this. And I'm checking my, nope, I'm in the right color space, so I don't know what that was about. Might just be my eyes. All right. Okay, tell me if I need to change anything, and then also tell me how to change that thing. I'm so tired. I'm tired from doing nothing except having my ego beat up. So this, again, like everything else today, almost everything, was a 79. I expected it to do better, and it didn't. So now I've got to decide which I'm leaning towards. Do I go with the stuff that they told me to change? One of the things that they didn't like, I'll open this one because it's easier to scroll in. They didn't like the detail taken out of her hair. I did that like I showed you in the original. I did that because it was a little bit crazy, and I kind of like this polished look and the polished highlights, and it's painterly, and it brings all the attention to her face. But they didn't like that. So I don't want to give up the bottom of this dress. You know what? Maybe, what if we tried to crop it like I never ever crop like this. Maybe this is better. Ooh, that is better, I think. Maybe. Or I do like this crop better. I don't know, since she's kind of looking off that way, it makes me want to put her over to the camera right side. But, whoops. And that also takes care of the cloning scenario. Okay, I'm going to write this down. No higher than, okay, so thank you so much for your help. Okay. I'm guessing most people are probably mobile viewers. This was one, so I had 11 images judged today, and it was a massacre. It was terrible. I got 9 79s. When you really just want to see 80 or above, I would have loved to see 90 or above, but that was not meant to be today. So this is one of them. I already like this a whole lot better, and now I'm mad at myself for not doing this. Why do I do that always? I'm gonna flatten that though, actually, and save it. I'm gonna save over that other crop because I'm not even gonna consider the other one. I think they gave me enough information to work off of that I could get this one to a respectable score. So dang, let me see if I put that in Portrait Masters too, because once I enter it in Portrait Masters, I think I missed the deadline though, which is actually awesome in this scenario because it means this can go in Portrait Masters in the summer. All right, so I've got a lot that I can do there. I can go back in and add the detail to her hair. I can fix the coloring. The clone marks are gone. The negative space is gone. That might still be a little much at the top, but I'm not going to worry about it too much because we have time now. So I can take the time now to edit these and walk away from them and then come back a couple weeks later. The ones that got most discussion were break and stitch, which I expected to do. Oh yeah, no problem. Work, I guess you have to work. This shockingly did better than any of the others. I thought this was going to be a scrapper. I thought this was going to be one for home, but not for competition. So that surprised me. And this one got a lot of discussion, and then this one got a lot of discussion. And when I say they got a lot of discussion, they pointed out a lot of things wrong with them. So I don't know how to take that. But based on today, if I were creating my case, I would have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm really shocked. See, these two that they didn't give me any feedback. Like this one, it's got some duplications. And with tulle, you have to be careful because it sometimes it will give the illusion of duplications, even when there aren't any. I've gone through that a lot in comp. I'm definitely going to have to change the presentation because they made that super clear. So I'm not giving up on this yet because I believe in this image and I was kind of quick and sloppy in getting that done. This also didn't get any discussion at all, and it was just a super quick edit, and they were not liking the technique on the hair and any of the others, so I can only assume that was part of it. I just really love her little face, and there's a lot of negative space there. I almost want to add like an arm reaching out. Do I have an arm? I do have this dress though, so I could add an arm. But see, like this is, I only need 4. I need 4 images. So, welcome back. I only need 4 images, so I can pick any of them and create something complete. But I just feel way more confused now than I did before judging. So this one that I edited completely. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. It was not a good day in judging. It was horrible, honestly. And I got all, like, basically all 79s. And, but the shocker, so tell all those people to leave you alone at work. But this was the shocker. This one did really well. Well, not really well. Really well in conjunction to how I expected it to do. It was better than 79. And on a day like today, that's really well. So I want to clean that up and maybe see how far that will go. This one did terrible. And it had no discussion, so I got nothing out of it. Nothing. Except that it's not very good. But this is another one that I'm going to keep working on. This bothered me. It's funny how when it comes up on the screen to judge, your first impression of it changes. And this bugged me a whole bunch. This where I moved the lampshade, but I didn't move this part. And it's fine down here, but it's trash up here. So I'll fix that. And little things that I think this line through her neck was more bothersome. Okay, tell me, how do you feel about the crop? Should I go wider or crop in a little more? Because I tend to leave a lot of negative space, and that's why on 2 of my images today, that's what I heard was the negative space. But I love me some negative space. It looked bright on my screen today, and I know that like streaming is not ideal, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see what you say about the crop. Because that makes a big difference. Cut off the knee. Okay, so if I go in tighter, then is that better? Or should I add more knee or fade it out? It may be better. Here, let me pull this into Photoshop. Because crop is one of those things that made it taller. Okay, I like that. I'm trying to decide which version to go in there since it's a master artist image. And then I did get some feedback on one that it's probably gonna retire. No, I can't remember what I named this. Oh, there it is. Oh, all the way to his feet. Okay, that's interesting. I'd be on board with giving that a shot. All right. We'll just give it a minute. Okay. Well, that's okay because I like a good, to be honest, usually I'm spot on. And when I'm watching judging for other people's images, I'm in sync with the judges. And today I was so far off. So far off. Like it was comically bad by the end of the day. I surrendered on like the 4th 79. I just surrendered the day to, maybe they'll give a 79 award and I'll win that. Okay, so if I'm just taking, let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's do this. Okay, where is my actual image? There it is. Move this up. Oh, okay. Well, I gave it away, but so pretty much all of them were 79s. And this one I did get some really good feedback on, to be honest, because I knew it needed something, and I looked at it too long. I couldn't put my finger on it. I think they got the story, but they pointed out that these clouds that were up, or that these balloons that were up in the storm clouds, were still getting the same lighting effect on the top that yeah, I get that. Have you looked at Portrait Masters? Portrait Masters, I feel like, rewards creativity in a way different than I've seen a lot of images do. And then I want to see if, okay, I did not do the same presentation. They didn't complain about this presentation like they did all the others. So I need to work on these, bringing these down a little bit. And then I need to make, and I knew this, I need to make these flowers more a part of the landscape. And then her toning, her coloring being a little orangey, and everything else being so bright and over competition. What about a Twitch competition? Live stream judging. I'll give everybody 79s in honor of my day today. So I did get some good feedback on this, and this is for a client. This is their story, their image, and they want to print it big, so I want to make sure that it's perfect before I do. It did have some color, some toning issues in the sky. They didn't actually point that out, but I saw it when it came up on screen. So I'm going to play with the... Okay, I'm on board with that. I agree with that. I know, and the sound was on Zoom. The actual competition was on printcompetition.com, and the sound was on Zoom. And, you know, I don't know what was stopping anybody from just unmuting and giving a rebuttal. But nobody did, so I assume they can cut that off somehow. But I was happy with this feedback. It gave me some stuff to work on. This got 79, no talk. This actually looked better on screen than it does on my screen right now. And then this one is one that I expected to do poorly because it did poorly last year. All I did was give it a title change. So last year the title was Dead to the World. This year is Focused in Faith. And the complaint mainly, there was one judge that she kept repeating that she did not get the story. And that without the guide image, she wouldn't have known this was a television. The way TVs are made right now, I don't really know what I could do to make that more television-like, but I do think he's a little crammed in the frame. So if I gave him more negative space and more of a defined wall, like kind of Van Gogh's bedroom perspective, you know, with like an extreme perspective, I think I could probably make this one work. They liked the work on his face. They liked the lighting and the color changes and stuff like that. So I fully expected, this one kept just 79, 79. I'd make changes, and 79, 79 last year, and it was really frustrating. Okay, that's a good idea. All my my angry notes from today. I guess I could make it like an old school TV too, and that would give a little more visual interest. If I could even find an old TV. But that's a possibility. I'm running into, now I've got to narrow it down which images I want to work on, because I don't want to have too many. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I make these tweaks and then I can enter like a state competition. Okay, some detail. I missed that last comment. Some detail from the TV. Okay, I like that. Could be TLC. That's my trash TV. Some 90 Day Fiance on there. And he does ignore that, so that would be appropriate. Oh man. So I think I need to make some tweaks to these and then enter them into another competition. I know that Texas is coming up, Pennsylvania is coming up. So make these changes, send it to another panel and see what they say, because I'm not convinced that this one is going to do as well as it did even today, because it was really just one judge really it had a lot of impact for her, and she was fighting for it, which I hugely appreciate, but I also don't know that that's something that's going to translate to another panel. So, pretty much that's all the feedback I got. This got 0 feedback whatsoever. Straight up 79. Not even a challenge, I don't think. Just, but oh yeah, we already talked about this because I felt like maybe I could add an arm, like holding something. But then I'm getting into that. Like I don't need to salvage every image into competition, but I want to see them all meet their, peak. At the edge of the frame. Okay. Oh, okay. Like knobs or something. All right, I can play around with that a little bit. I'm looking around at my printer has some knobs that could probably work for TV. I like that I just went straight to 90 Day Fiance to watch. Like I said, it's been a long day. All right. That's maybe all the useful information that I got. I'm really disappointed. This is the one that I am super excited about. I like the toning and the coloring, but maybe we'll add some feet in there. I'll have to reshoot her. But you know what? That might work to have her feet dangling and have his feet all the way to his feet to the ground. I'll have to reshoot hers, but that's easy because she lives in my house and it's my child. Let's see, just to kind of get a composition here. Let's see what we'd be dealing with. Like, why does it feel so heavy to the left? Because he's just a little past. Maybe we go to there. Put their faces. See, but when I get both their faces on the third, then he still seems heavy to the left. I do like that idea though, bringing his feet in and then her feet can just kind of dangle. Okay, I'm clicking. Poltergeist. Oh yeah, okay. That makes sense. You know what? I actually like the idea of static. I like the idea of static on there too. Now I need to get past my angry. They weren't really angry. They were like a little bitter. Just a little bitter. Oh my gosh, I ran out of paper. And I also sketched out 3 new ideas for images that I could just scrap these if I want to. Yes. And that, I think, was part of my issue, is that you can kind of see in the guide image. Oh, we're off of there now. Well, here, I'll tell you what, let's just do this one. You can kind of see in this guide image that TV doesn't have any of that. But how do I zoom in? But yeah, just like, yeah, I like that. TV details. And I do like the static on the TV too. And I do want to give just kind of an implied shape to the room and give him more space. And I think the title did help. However, I fully expected to be scrapping this one since it had gone through competition already. So I already started other images. Although one, the models, I'm having trouble getting the models there. So, okay, so now that I have somebody interacting, I have a question for you. So I've got 2 images. I actually have several like this, but they got the exact same score. One had 0 discussion, and one had a ton of things that needed to be fixed that were issues. So which one do you feel like, or do those 2 things cancel each other out and not really matter? That's where I'm at right now. Do I take something like this, that they gave me a million things that they hated about it? They hated the presentation. That's easy to fix. They hated the crop. That's easy to fix. They were concerned with the color, the details in her hair, with her neck. What else was it? So all those things were reasons to bring it down, which is funny because it was a 79 and then it got challenged and then it was a 79 again. I think it might have been an automatic challenge. But so this is one option, and then there is another option that they didn't even talk about. Like this one, I see some things that I could do to raise the score, raise the bar for it, but I don't know that it's going to be enough to put it up in a category where I'm going to be happy with it, because I'm not even going to be happy. I'm certainly not going to be happy with a 79. I'm probably not in the 80s either. I want to really push the envelope. Or this one that they didn't talk about, I see things that definitely need to change to be better, but the fact that they didn't even talk about it concerns me a little bit. The coloring, anytime I use this pinky peach tool, I struggle with that coloring, and especially with her red hair, that might be an issue. So which do you go with? Do you go with the one they didn't even bother talking about, or I don't know. I don't know that there's a right answer, but if there is, tell me it so I can save myself trouble. But that's all the feedback that I got. So now that I've done that, I'm gonna not think about these for tonight. That one, really, like, why didn't I just crop it before? It looks so much better cropped. Oh, that's frustrating. I knew that would happen with stuff too. I'm not surprised that it's this one because it was such a quick edit. So there's my beautiful clock picture. All right, so we're back to working with this. Okay, and I did get the round, where is it? I did get it's not as round as I thought, even though it's right behind me and I could have just turned around. But it's kind of a weird shape. Oh, sorry. Okay. So let's just grab this. Oh my gosh. And I'm not feeling, sometimes I leave judging feeling really energized and ready to conquer the world and ready to make all these changes, and I don't feel like that today at all. I feel over it. But I'm just gonna get over it because these other competitions are coming up, and I know that this will be a fleeting. Whoops. So I also have these new images like Home for the Holidays that I am adding to the mix. Okay, so okay. And I'm gonna do just like I did. Well, I'm just gonna wait, actually. And then we are also going to so first things first, I'll clean this up a little bit, just like a little teeny tiny brush. I'm going to leave that highlight because this side will be significantly darker. So as long as the highlights are on camera right, then we're good because that's where the tree is going to be. And then I'll take that center out as well. See, and that those highlights will allow that bend in the frame. Okay. And then nope. Hi, baby. Yes, it's Raven. You want to come say hi? What are you wearing? She's wearing a robe. My littlest watched Judging with me today for a little while. Come here, hop on here and tell them what do the blue numbers mean.
They don't like it.
They don't like it. Did mommy get blue numbers today?
Yeah.
Yes, she did. That's okay. All right. All right, you go down and take care of Kitty, okay?
Okay.
Thanks, baby. Okay, and then up here where it's a little darker, I don't have to worry so much about precision. Okay. And then I'll just clean that up a little bit. Oh, and I twisted that thing. And this is going to have a pretty heavy shadow on it. Whoops. I don't want to slice through the whole thing. All right. And we're still progress 1 for sure, just because we haven't done anything remarkable that couldn't be redone. Or even that time consuming. We're just kind of getting started. Oh, I forgot I had that tree open. I might pull pieces from that tree to kind of get some of the glow. Right now it's kind of a depressing layout. You know, this is a perfect thing to work on today. It's been a long day. I think I've said that a few times. I'm going to grab the wallpaper and we're going to patch this wallpaper into a nice faded design that is really just going to be visible right around the tree where there's a glow from the lights. So let's see how much we can get done with spot healing. And this, these were slides. I'm not going to completely obliterate that kind of slide texture though. I really like that. I'm going to take the hard edge off all four sides. And then, whoops, got a little crooked. So I just don't want anything that's going to stand out real strong. Nope, like that. We don't want that. Okay, and this won't be shown very much, but I want it to be able to tell a little bit what it is. Because if you can't, then it's going to be, if this doesn't end up working, then we might just go to a pattern rather than okay. So I'm going to drain that of its color first of all. Okay. So there, we've got to be wary of the pattern. And then this is going to seem like a lot more work than it's worth at some point, but and I'm trying to, on this little patch, there is kind of a shadow that I'm trying to keep covered. So we just want a nice little wallpaper pattern. And I'm going to pull this one down below because of that dark patch. And then we'll duplicate, keep going. And that needs to go way up. We'll merge those and then duplicate that. There we go. And then do it again. It's in that under there. So just try to match it up a little bit so we get that repeating pattern. Welcome back. I am making wallpaper here that may or may not work. It's just an experiment now. Whoops. There we go. All right, so there's my wallpaper. And then it's very haunted mansion right now. What is wrong with people? Come on. All right, so I've got to move this down kind of behind everything. And I have a lot of layers that I'm not sure what they're on. Where's the tree is like? Here we go. All right, so now I might darken that just a little bit. And now it's really just a pattern. So whether that's gonna work or not, I don't know. What I am gonna do though is grab like a medium opacity here and fade it. Maybe a little bigger. Oh, you know what? I knew I was forgetting to photograph something, and I need a present. I'm going to duplicate that and darken. You know what? I don't know if I touched the color balance. Oh, and that floor is, did I flip the floor? I wish I had. If I, let me see. Maybe we'll just do that now. See if we can get rid of that. Oh, it was under his leg, that's why. There we go. So we'll duplicate that and leave them both visible. And I'm actually going to duplicate it again just to have a backup. Because this top one I'm going to get really dark. And then erase back. And then I know that I'm gonna have to mess with that again because we'll put oh, that's interesting. Pixel squid. I've never heard of that. What am I doing? Oh yeah, duplicating. Naturally. Okay, I have not touched the coloring on, oh, that's my drawing. I don't know what that is. That's the arm of the chair. I'm not loving the chair. The perspectives are a little bit off. So, I don't know. We'll do something with that. Let's work on the clock because it's not great. So I'm going to duplicate and hide one just so that I have a backup copy. of this masterpiece. And we'll go down to 100%. And this, whoops, is the boring part for sure. Doesn't feel like Friday today. Okay, I got a peek under the camera there. So an outdoor session tomorrow. So hopefully the weather is cooperative. This is, the perspective is weird on this. So I'll get that cleaned up for sure. Hands are like shaky. Turns out maybe sitting in a chair all day is not good for you. Who knew? I should have asked people to score. So maybe I could have been prepared. So actually, I think that this reflection in this pendulum is an opportunity for a part of the story. So rather than just being something I have to fix, I think that's a good chance to create an element. It's a very straight line. It's not going to be though when I'm done with it. So this chain is really just going to be an implied chain. So I'm going to take out this side because it would be the shadow side, and then I'm just going to go low opacity over this side, and it'll just give the illusion of highlight rather than sloppy Photoshop work. Okay. I actually like that light reflecting on there, but obviously we're going to have to tone it down a little. So I'm going to bring that contrast down. Oops, I took the brightness down. That'll do though. I like that. Normally with a clock, I would make it 11:11, but I might not worry too much about even changing this one. And we'll just wait. We'll just sit here and wait for my Oh, it's gonna start this again. That's usually a sign. Time is limited. Okay. So from when you back up, it looks like there's some crazy edging going on there, and there isn't. So, oh my gosh, this is what we're gonna, okay, if my computer starts that business again, that's annoying. Oh, okay, I'm gonna save this. And then on the wallpaper, what I'm gonna do is, now since we're at a lower opacity, I've got to be kind of careful that okay, so oh my gosh, look at that eraser. That's ridiculous. Okay, first I'm going to warm up the layer underneath. The nice warm Christmas tree glow. Oh my gosh, and you can see down here in the preview with my mouse or Photoshop, something is spazzing out. There. And I was so distracted by seeing if it was going to do it that I didn't see, and over there it messed it up. Because we don't want a perfect line. I'm gonna hide this and try this. Okay, and then I'm still on there. I can see it happening right before my eyes. And up at the top, it's not gonna have that glow, so that's why I was redoing this. Just barely. I'm gonna put another layer on top of here, right here, that's gonna, I'm just gonna add a gradient. Where, there it is. Oh my gosh, it's not even gonna. gosh, I'm so tired. Okay, so apparently we're doing a circular. You know what? It works. It works. Whoops. Here we go. I'm going to save that. Not going through that again. I'm going to come. Where's my floor? Is it on top? Let's move this on top of the floor and see how that shakes out. Okay. Okay. I'm on board so far. Nope, that's too much. I spoke too soon. That's probably not, you probably don't want to schedule too many social media posts when you're tired. So that could go sideways. Or maybe you do. That's how you go viral. And the clock is already on top. It's just really dark, so. Oh, yeah, you did wait till the last minute. Well, you earned it then. Okay. I think I'm actually going to move the clock up a little bit. I was hoping to hide the mess that the bottom of it. Oh my gosh. I was going to hide the bottom of it, but that's not working. No, just like my computer isn't working. All right, so tell me, as somebody new to Twitch, do I need to be on Discord? I'm guessing that's a yes. I'm guessing that answer is a yes. Why is I'm so shaky? Oh my gosh. This is like the balloon ribbons all over again. You know what? I think I will buck the system here. Since these are on a separate they're on a separate layer, so I can just kind of freak out on them a little bit. I don't like that. Yeah, and that is definitely still warped. You can't really tell though. All right. Oh. Well, that's what I want. That's why I am drawn to Twitch, because I like the feedback. I like the community and the back and forth. And so I really appreciate you being here and giving me somebody to talk to. So I think I'll probably have to look into that. Okay. So let's look here. So that's definitely a blown red channel. Well, yeah, I can see that. I don't have a community here yet. I'm trying to get the community that I have from Facebook to come over here, but they're not already on Twitch, so I think people are hesitant to have a new thing to try to keep up with. But I also feel like that, you know, we need to move into that direction. No, that's weird. I don't like that. That's better. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and color him because that's fun. Where is he though? I know it's not really round, but okay, so first things first, we'll just put him back together again and then duplicate and then hide. And I am gonna have music. I don't know why I wanted to come back and forth all day with judging, and the higher my frustration level got, the less likely that was to happen. So I checked out the pretzel rocks that I think you were the one that told me about, and I'm gonna do that. So now you know. All right, so I'm gonna do my usual here with sharpen. And that's a good one. I want a good solid amount of sharpening. And I'm gonna duplicate this layer because when I reduce the noise, I wanna bring back any of the details that yeah, I think that's a good amount actually. I don't even think I need to bring any of it back. I like that idea. I don't think that I'm probably that exciting and I'm super duper new. So, and now I'm seeing the back of that chair is cut off, but I'll fix that in a minute. And it's all very dark, or it's very bright for the key that I'm working on here. And then I'm going to duplicate, and with this top layer go really dark so I can get rid of that back highlight and put the focus back on his face. And then I'll just switch to like, I don't want to lose oops. There we go. I don't want to lose, I don't remember what I was saying. Yeah, no, that doesn't sound weird at all. It would be weird to grow a community and not be involved in it. That'd be more what I would love that. Thank you. You have to tell me what to do. step by step. Okay, so let's see. Do I want to take any more of that detail out? I'm not sure. Maybe the shoulder. I might just go smaller here and, oh, opacity 12. Well, okay, I'll just swipe over it like 500 times. Okay. Oh, he looks so sad. Which is the point, but yeah, I was trying to take down, and actually I'm probably gonna erase, because you see there's like a, where there's a duplication, it's made it even more obvious. So I'll definitely have to burn that down, and fix that chair is weird. So I'll merge these and then duplicate again and hide one, and then go back here and get, first of all, get rid of this highlight, and then I can erase back substantially. Oh yeah, that is a rather light highlight. I've got no straight line happening tonight. It's all wobbles. Yeah, and that chair back there, not only is it looking weird, but it's not lining up that great either. So the chair might have to go. I might look at my parents' house. There is the perfect chair that would work really well. Oh, I don't want to do that. My, so I don't know if I'm going to end up taking any of that out, because it's a little much for the mood of the whole image, but I don't want to write it off quite yet either. Like maybe just some garlands, because nothing is decorated on the tree, but I'm okay with that. All right, let's burn this puppy down. All right. So I've got to be careful, because generally when I'm working in these dark, these really dark composites, I will leave some lines and stuff that don't show up till later, till it's already flattened. Okay. So just to be sure. I always go for the dark composites too. Those are my specialty. And messing them up is also my specialty after today. Okay. All right, I'm going to clean this up a little bit and start the first progression. So I don't even, oh, that's my drawing. So I can probably do without that. That one's not going to work. Yes, I agree with that, but it doesn't always feel like I agree with that in the in the moment. And it was almost like, I don't know. I mean, there's like legitimate, real stuff to be sad about going on in the world today, and I'm not going to stress about image competition, but it was like comically bad. So bad. This chair has made it into more composites than I ever would have thought possible, considering I don't even really like it. It's shocking. Okay, so I'm going to take this down quite a bit and then erase it just over here. Can you even see? Is that doing anything? There we go. Okay, so what was that? Okay, that's the arm of the chair. That's probably too bright for this because he'd be blocking most of that light. So we just want like a hint. Okay, round frame. What else we got here? The back of the chair. Okay. That's all gonna stay. I'm gonna get rid of these though. It's just like extra. There's either a cat behind me or we're haunted. Or both. Wonder what that is. Oh, there's my other drawing. Don't need that probably anymore. Definitely need that. I don't see anything changing, so maybe I'll just leave that. So it's a copy of the floor. We probably don't really, it doesn't need to be in view anyway. It's a tree before it was flipped. And that is the okay. Enjoy your dinner. Thank you very much. I'm gonna get on that right now. Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a nice dinner. Don't let those customers bother you. Okay, and I'm going to save this as a new progression. So we're on 3. So we are light years away from any sort of completion. Now, whoops. now that I'm looking at it, I'm wondering if bye-bye, have a good one. I'm wondering if I need to move the tree over in front of him so it's not, his face isn't obstructed. I think I probably do need to. I like that better. Now I have to be wary of this scenario. Where I brought that glow. But here's a fun fact. I can, you know what? I'm going to reverse this. We're going to mix it up a little bit. I keep hearing things. We'll go, I feel like I'm on the wrong. Okay, so let's go up to here and like erase back this way. So we're leaving the glow that goes around the tree rather than leaving the dark. And then we can brighten it. So let's go back with a little more intention and brighten it. Okay, and then we can bring it down a notch, and this we can darken. I'm not sure what's happening. Okay, you might be asking, what is this black spot down here? Because I'm also asking that. Is it on here? What is it on? What's it even attached to? To the floor? Maybe it's the floor. Or it's, oh, you know what? It's probably like an empty spot. So that's a quick fix. Okay, and then right here, and then this needs to move on up. Oh, that's the wrong tree. I was like, why didn't it change? Okay, that tree is hideous, but we can fix that. What I'm not sure about is if I want to take something with such a vibrant glow like this and work that into the tree. I'm kind of thinking no. I think I'd rather have it be like this depressing, splotchy kind of dark tree. I think that's what I prefer. So I'm gonna hide one. Nope. All right. So we'll get there. It's coming together. It's just not, we're not there yet. Maybe this is too big and that's why. Oops. See, every once in a while my mouse just kind of freaks out. Just trying to go through some of these dark spots and fill it in. But I like the idea of a sparse tree given the subject matter. However, I still want it to be tree-like. So I'm just trying to get some of these lights out on the branches. It helps that there's no, that there aren't any ornaments, because it kind of makes it easier to imply dimension. But I feel like I'm starting to lose shape here, and I don't want to do that. And we just moved him to be away from that. There. Okay, so I'm going to delete this tree and then duplicate this one. And then I want to duplicate him and then a third time. So we'll hide the back one and hide the front one, and then this middle one is going to be really warm because it's going to be what's closest to the tree. And then we'll bring this one back and we'll, nope, I'm on the wrong one. I was like, that's not changing. In fact, that's a little much even. Oh my gosh, I was doing it on the wrong layer again. Okay, now let's try it. I was just kidding those other times. It's a little too big. So just where the light from the tree would be hitting, just give it a little warmer feel. And then I'm going to merge those together and duplicate, and then I'm going to save that original coloring. then I see this over his head that didn't get cleaned up very thoroughly. So that's what we're here for. Especially on that kind of gray peachy background that I use a lot in my studio. It's hard to see skin tones that are real similar. So I'll probably be wrapping it up pretty soon, but I want to get these details handled. I've done nothing but sit and watch judging all day, and now I need to get this done though. It's just way less exciting when you do poorly. Okay. So before I go though, I'm gonna go in here. Oh man, look at that. I missed a bunch. Whoops. Okay, so I count myself. All right, so I'm gonna go in here first. Normally yeah, you know what, never mind. I was gonna say normally I dodge first what I was going to burn, but I'm not. I'm gonna dodge first. So just running it over, this is actually, that's gonna take 1,000 years. So, clock's a ticking. So now I need to either go larger or smaller on my brush. So I'm going to go a little larger in his hair and his beard, and then a little smaller than that. And then a little smaller than that. And then tiny. My favorite highlight on a face is the bottom of the eyelids, like in here. When you catch light on that, it offers such beautiful shape. There's some gray in the fingers. And then I want to to catch, there's a light in his eye that I want to catch for sure. Because even though the eyes are a really small portion of this image, they're so important. And before I go, I'm going to get the tips of those. Normally eyelashes would be burnt, but in this scenario they're laying in a shadow, so they need to be dodged. Now this back corner is a different story. There we go. And then dodge. No. I almost did it again. Then burn. And then I need to dodge this eyelid right there so that I can burn there. And skin, just like fabric, dodging and burning the fabric gives it depth and texture and dimension. And just what a lot of people are trying to take out when they're filtering their pictures and stuff like that, but it's very important to tell the story, especially in these kinds of scenarios. He's got a highlight on his ear that it's not too bold, but it's also that I don't want to have to visually explain where that light is coming from. So that's with some dodging and burning, and that's before. So I'm really happy with where we're at here. Oops. And then I'm going to scooch in there. Yeah, I hate how sad he looks, but it's part of the story. All right. So where's my floor? I need to give some weight to him. All right, so I need to burn into the floor below him. And the chair. Actually, I think what's going to be easier here okay, so then I can just take a little, not that little, actually I'm gonna go 100 so that I can make sure that I'm taking care of the sharp lines. And then 50 and a little bit bigger. And then a little bigger and a little lower opacity. And hopefully that just blends into so let's clean up around his feet and then we'll call it a night. So now that we've got a shadow under him, we don't need to borrow. Oh, that's on my monitor. It's not actually on the photograph. I have to watch those highlights on the chair too. Okay, and then we'll burn okay, really, I'm gonna for sure be done in just a second. Okay, that's good enough. Whoops. All right, and then here we go. Okay. Okay. Now the top of the chair is the only one that's not connected because I'm not ready to fully commit to the top of that chair yet. I'll save this as progress 5. So we made a fair amount of progress tonight. I don't think there's a difference there. So okay, I do like lowering the contrast a little and just the brightness just a tiny bit because Okay. I think just as I'm starting to make progress, it's probably gonna be about that time. I keep messing around. So I need to, where did I go? There it is, right up at the top. I'm wondering if, so I messed up when I did, I'm so close to the camera, sorry. So I messed up when I did numbered days, which was my first Master Artist Merit, and I had information that I wanted to portray, that the man had lost all the people from his childhood, a lot of the people important to him, and that's what he got in exchange. He got to live to an old age. And that didn't translate very well visually. That was the negative. That image did really well, but there were some kind of holes in the story. And I want to make sure that I don't do that this time. So that's why I'm leaving those empty picture frames hanging for a little bit to decide how I want to handle those. Because I feel like one should be, okay, maybe I'm brainstorming here. So maybe one should be a wedding picture, and one should be a picture of them when they're older. I like that. Good idea. But that is for another day because I'm so tired. But I'm going to save this, and I hope to be back to stream tomorrow. I have sessions, so I've got some stuff to do between now and then. But please make sure that you're following on here. I really, really appreciate all of you, all 15 of you. I really do. And I'm going to check out Discord and follow me on Instagram, subscribe to me on YouTube, and come back to see me again tomorrow. And I will look forward to checking Discord out. So thank you guys so much. Have a nice Friday night.
Bye.
Bye.
Subscribe to my mommy. Please.